Well, hey everybody, John Ritlin here with Rapid Fire episode 82. I got 4 topics to talk about. WWE releases, an old but new but also very old signing to their creative team, people that still wouldn't be dumb about this Roman Reigns Leukemia situation, and rumored Hall of Fame inductees. Also want to emphasize, not a reporter, journalist, I have no inside sources. I read about stuff, especially stuff that's completely true, because if it's on the internet, it must be true. And I give my opinion as a 35 plus year wrestling fan. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. While we get into this stuff, the WWE releases. Ty Dillinger. He was over in NXT for a time, got himself over with the whole 10 thing. Even though it was supposed to be obnoxious at first, people started to take to it. That feud with Bobby Roode was good. Especially, culminating in a match at TakeOver Toronto. That was a pretty damn good match. He had that feud with Sandy. He got called up into the Royal Rumble, 2017 Rumble at number 10. They teased that spot again the next year. And then he wasn't even part of this Rumble. And he apparently requested his release. He's a month younger than I am. If he wants to make the most of his years left in wrestling, great. He's had enough years in WWE. He's earned a name. I'm not saying he's going to be a world champion anywhere. I'm not saying that. And I got nothing against the guy. He's going to be a mid-card guy, mid-card champion somewhere. He can make appearances in Japan, Ring of Honor, maybe the UK. AEW, I think, is almost a lock for him because he's friends with Cody. So honestly, best of luck to Ty. TJP, based on wrestling ability, the guy's got plenty of options. I just hope that maybe he matures as far as his social media activity. Because I've seen some stuff, and so have a lot of people. It's not necessarily good. Pretty shitty, honestly. In ring ability, that guy is world class. He is very, very good. Been a fan of him in the ring for a number of years. I think Best of Super Juniors would be a good option for him. A good tournament in New Japan. Mexico, he could wrestle. He could wrestle well there. He could wrestle well in the UK. AEW, Ring of Honor, he can make appearances in Impact. He wrestled in Impact for a number of years. He's got options. He could be part of the Indies. Who the fuck knows? I just hope that he maybe, checks himself as far as social media and stuff like that. Realizes that he has to mature. Because again, some of the stuff I've seen, not that good. Hideo Itami, it wasn't going to work whether he got injured or not. The injuries did derail quite a bit of his push, but honestly, I give him credit for trying in WWE, but it just wasn't going to work. He's going to do better back in Noah, or maybe even appearing in New Japan. Who the fuck knows? But best of luck to him, honestly. Injuries have piled up on him, but I think working in Japan, he will be able to still make some good money and retire in his home country. And then we get to the most shocking one, Arn Anderson, who has been a road agent for WWE since WCW closed down. Well respected. Somebody where it's like, this is the 18th year that he would have been with the company, like just a few months shy. I don't know what the reasons were. They did hire a bunch of agents recently, I believe Hurricane Helms, Sean Daivari, older brother of Ari Daivari. They hired Abyss, Sanjay Dutt. So the Impact takeover is becoming complete. They're getting a whole bunch of guys from Impact. They got a whole bunch of guys wrestling, a whole bunch of guys in producer roles. My God, the Impact invasion is on. But anyway, all jokes aside, nothing against Impact, but just all jokes aside of like that whole Impact WWE war. I don't know what the reasons were. Arn, maybe they couldn't come to an agreement on a new deal. Arn may have wanted to go home. Maybe he got tired of the travel. Maybe they couldn't come to terms on a new money agreement. Maybe it was a mutual parting of the ways. Who knows? Arn's going to be going to AEW though. If he wants to still be in wrestling, you don't think that he's going to want to go work for Dusty's son? Oh yeah, he's going to want to. But if he wants to retire and stay at home, best of luck to him. Guy had a hell of a career, hell of a road agent, resume and everything. The guy's got options if he wants to continue to be part of the business. But if he doesn't want to, all good. The guy is 60. He could retire and just enjoy his life. Enjoy his life giving to wrestling for like 40 plus years. But, so could more releases come? Sure. The revival, but probably not for a while. Some women could. I'm not saying women should. They could release some of the women they aren't using all that well. I would vote for Tamina only because she really doesn't serve a purpose on there. But I don't like to see people lose their jobs. I could see some people getting released and more people requesting the releases. And if they don't have that much time left on their contract, they might get it. And not just because of AEW, but just in general, yes, there's big money from WWE, but if you're not being used, if you're just being creatively stifled, what the fuck is the point of being there except to earn the money? Like, honestly. And I mean, I love WWE, I love New Japan, I love all forms of wrestling except deathmatch. I don't care for deathmatch wrestling. Even though I met Jimmy Havoc, and that guy's awesome, but that guy can also wrestle a damn good match when he wants to. Deathmatch works for him, and that's fine. I got nothing but respect for Jimmy Havoc, nothing but love for him. I just don't care for quite a bit of the deathmatch stuff I see, but I digress. There are a lot of people that like it. The whole point of this is, plenty of people could request their releases. Just because WWE is so bloated, is so like freaking crowded. Not enough people can get over. Not enough people can get featured on TV. I talked about this in my most recent Unpopular Wrestling Opinion episode about 205 Live NXT UK. And so yeah, more releases could be coming. I don't know who. Leave in the comments who you think WWE will release. You can leave who you would like to see WWE release, but let's be kind here. I don't really want to see anybody lose their jobs, except Kevin Dunn. Fuck that guy. The guy can get cast in a volcano for all I care. And it would work. You could stop the volcano from erupting because all you gotta do is throw a virgin in there. Anybody that would sleep with Kevin Dunn, what the fuck? You could only do it for the money. But Kevin Dunn and his stupid Bucky Beaver tooth, aside. Tooth, by the way, teeth, tooth, whatever. God, can't. Sorry, the guy, just thinking about that stupid idiot. They can't do anything right in the wrestling business. Just fucking frustrates me, all those damn jump cuts. But anyway, let's go to another guy that I don't really care for. According to PW Insider, I have nothing against them, by the way. They're fine. Somebody has been signed to be part of the WWE creative team and answer directly to Vince McMahon in a role he had, for a number of years. Bruce Prichard, Brother Love. The popular podcast that he has with Conrad Thompson. I got nothing against Conrad. There are some people that do. I cast him to the side. Bruce Prichard is somebody I just never respected. Now, I know he's been in wrestling for a number of years. Houston, he was in WWE for a while. And actually, pretty much, with the exception of like a 16-month stint from like 91 and 92, he was with Vince for a number of years until he went to Impact. Was there for a while, and then I think was as recently as like 2017, he was part of there, and instead of a solid steel cage, it was a salad steel cage. He said that on an Impact taping that they taped, that they didn't edit. Salad steel cage. Hashtag salad steel cage. Might put that in the video, actually. But I have issues with the guy because of some of the things that he said on his show. Now, look, he lived in the wrestling business. I didn't, and no other wrestling fan that is talking about, him or other things in other videos of theirs have been in wrestling, or at least the vast majority have. And I'm not trying to cast any doubt on you guys, but I've never been in wrestling, and I readily admit that, just a wrestling fan. But the guy defending the invasion storyline, which was a terrible idea no matter who was creatively involved. It was a bad idea. But then also one clip that particularly turned me off was when he defended the Booker T Triple H storyline, saying it was not a race angle. Now, I don't know who was in charge of it. I don't know who came up with the angle. I'm not trying to say if Bruce did that he's a racist. I'm not trying to say if Vince did he's a racist. Though he did use the N-word right in front of Booker T when he talked to John Cena. What the fuck? What the fuck was that? But I'm not trying to say Bruce or anybody that was in charge of that was trying to be racist. Unless it was Michael Hayes, and then we know. Because of what Michael Hayes has said repeatedly a lot. But defending it and saying it wasn't a racist storyline, Yes, it fucking was. Whether that was the intention by creative or not, that is a racist storyline. That is one thing that I particularly had an issue with. Now, that guy's made his money. He's made his mark in wrestling. He's still making his mark in wrestling. Nothing I say as a fan is going to fucking matter. I've never really respected the guy. There are people that are fans of him. And if you are watching this and you are a fan of Bruce Prichard, I don't want to clap too loud. Bravo to you guys. You see something that I don't. And I'm not going to knock you guys at all. I've just never respected the guy. Hopefully he is not going to be on camera. Though somebody said this might mean that Brother Love goes in the Hall of Fame. God help us, and the Hall of Fame will mean the Hall of Fame will mean less, almost as much. Well, actually, let's see, how much will it mean? It'll mean as little as it meant when Donald Trump won the celebrity wing of the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that sounds about right. No, Bruce isn't that bad. It'll mean little. At least Bruce got in the ring and did some stuff, even though he was shit. And I hated the Brother Love character. But look, if something good can come out of this, fine. But to me, it feels like a step backwards. It feels like a Band-Aid on an axe wound. Because, honestly, you're going with old guys. You're going with, yes, they have years of experience in wrestling. There's nothing wrong with going with people that are veterans. But if you don't go with some young minds and maybe have some good ideas on wrestling, what the fuck is the point? Because then it's just Vince going with his, douchebag yes men, as somebody coined once. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe I'm just being cynical because I just don't like the guy. I just don't like the dumb fuck. But personally, I've never been a fan of Bruce. I never will be a fan of Bruce. But if you guys are, I am not going to sit here and knock you guys. I'm not necessarily excited about it, but who the fuck knows? Could end up working out. But let's go to rumored Hall of Fame inductees. And this was, posted by WrestleVotes on Twitter. So I'm aware of the account. The account seems it's run by cool people. So I'm not going to knock here. Let's take these at face value. Okay, bear in mind that they're rumors. Let's take them at face value. DX. Okay, DX is already announced. Hart Foundation. Unfortunately, it's probably just going to be Jim Neidhart, Jimmy Hart, and Bret Hart. I wish it was Pillman, Owen, and Bulldog being inducted. And I'm going to be a little bit angry here, but Owen Hart deserves to be in the goddamn Hall of Fame. And while I get why his widow is upset, and she has every right to feel the way she feels, Owen Hart deserves to be in the goddamn Hall of Fame. He 100% does, and the fact that he's not is goddamn bullshit. And it just is. That guy deserves to be in there. Bulldog deserves to be in there. Pillman deserves to be in there. Everybody can be inducted. Because Bret and Jimmy Hart are going to be the only ones left alive of the Hart Foundation. I mean, you could throw Danny Davis in there if you want. Even though, the wrestling referee, Danny Davis, he didn't, he wasn't necessarily part of the Hart Foundation, but he teamed with them. But it's just that I know the WWE Hall of Fame essentially is kind of bullshit just because of the fact that there's no physical Hall of Fame. I mean, they could spend money on a goddamn, on all this goddamn stuff like this freaking, like performance centers in the UK and stuff like that. But nope, they can't open up anything like that and, put a wing in a Hall of Fame. Put a building up and stuff like that. They got money coming out of their friggin' ass. Vince is selling off stock and all the stuff to get money for the XFL, which is going to fail miserably, by the way. They can't make physical Hall of Fame. And Owen Hart isn't in the goddamn Hall of Fame. But other people are. Drew Carey, and I know it's a celebrity wing, but there are celebrities that actually did something. Cyndi Lauper is not in the goddamn Hall of Fame. And yet, Drew Carey is. And nothing against Drew Carey as a person. It's just, fuck. You don't induct Cyndi Lauper, but you induct Drew Carey. Cyndi Lauper, who's one of the original people that, one of the original celebrities that had such a passion for it and promoted it like crazy. I mean, Lou Albano being in the Girls Just Want to Have Fun video. That was a big fucking deal back then. The fact Cyndi Lauper needs to be a celebrity inductee this year. She does. Molly Holly needs to be a woman the woman that's inducted this year. But anyway, so Hart Foundation, I want Owen in the goddamn Hall of Fame. I want Bulldog in there. I want Pillman in there. I will take Neidhart and Brett and Jimmy Hart. Jimmy, for all the stuff he did in Memphis and WWE and WCW, he got inducted already in the Hall of Fame, and he deserved to be. And I fucking love Jimmy Hart, one of my favorite managers of all time. It would like top three would be it would be Heenan, Cornette, Hart, or Heenan, Hart, Cornette. However you really want to go with it. Heenan's number one, obviously, at least to me. But I know it's a bit angry when it comes to the Hall of Fame, but just I know the Hall of Fame's kind of bullshit. But it means a lot to me to see people I love, people that gave their bodies, that died for this business, get in there while they're still alive. Vader died last year and wasn't put in. They put Rick Rude in finally. Granted, Rick Rude died in 1999, so it would have been difficult to induct him since they weren't doing Hall of Fame stuff. I think from like 97 to 2003. I think from like 98 to 2003 or something like that. Or maybe it was 97. I don't exactly remember. But I know 2004 is when it came back, and Rick Rude obviously had passed away. But so many people, just Pillman. Pillman died in 97. Jim Neidhart died last year. God, it would have been nice if the Hart Foundation had got inducted last year. Sorry. Just give me a second here. I just want these wrestlers to still be inducted while they're alive. And if they can't be, I want them to be honored. And the Hart Foundation as a whole, even though that incarnation was only there like together for like 6 months. About 6 months. They deserve to be inducted as a unit. And Jim Neidhart deserves to be inducted there because he was part of it. Maybe one day Owen will go in. Fuck. Taz is a possible rumored one. Okay. Nothing against Taz. If Taz does go in or doesn't go in, it doesn't matter to me. I got nothing against the guy. But the main one is Honky Tonk Man. Now look, I know he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, and he's this and he's that, and the shake, rattle, and roll, and the guy's a fucking tool. Fucking goddamn joke of a wrestler. If they're basing it on his WWE run, the guy was a fucking clown. Now, yeah, he got some good heat because all the guy could do was cut a promo. The guy couldn't fucking wrestle at all. And I'd seen a bit of his Memphis stuff. It was different. That was before he became the Honky Tonk Man. But I'm sorry. I just never cared for the Honky Tonk Man. The guy was fucking irritating. He tries to think that he's bigger than he actually is, even though he is a really big guy. Literally. Have you seen the guy? I know that I try to stay away from the cheap jokes and stuff like that, but just Honky Tonk does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I know why he's going to go in there. He's going to go in there because he's the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, which is a goddamn joke. A title held by Pedro Morales, Greg Valentine. I'm not saying Greg Valentine's a great guy, but held multiple times by various people. The Miz. The Miz is still an active wrestler, but Dolph Ziggler, others. Mr. Perfect, a better Intercontinental Champion than Honky Tonk could have ever hoped to be. The only reason the title was on him that long had to be because Vince must have forgot the title existed. Now, yes, there were times it was on Saturday Night's Main Event and stuff like that, but yeah, can you tell I don't like Honky Tonk Man? This guy's a goddamn piece of shit. The guy never belonged in wrestling. He at least never belonged in WWE. Now, the entertainment aspect, sure, but by what, 89, 90, the guy was barely wrestling. And his WCW run, I actually love the fact that Eric Bischoff fired him. Because Honky deserved to be fired. Because he was out of wrestling for so damn long, like, a few years, and he got brought in, and it was a fucking joke. I'm like, why the fuck? I'm 13 years old. Like, why the fuck is this idiot here? Saying that out loud or whatever and getting in trouble because at the time I was at home and it wasn't necessarily a good thing to swear. But yeah, Honky Tonk, longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, and the guy's a goddamn tool. I'm not shocked he's going in the Hall of Fame, but the guy's a fucking idiot. You can call me a fanboy, you can call me whatever the hell you want. I never care for the guy. If there are any Honky Tonk Man fans watching, that's really hard to say. Watching this, okay, cool. I got nothing against you guys. enjoy and cheer your heart out for the guy. Be happy. But if Honky Tonk Man does get inducted, I'm already going to watch the MSG show that Ring of Honor and New Japan are putting on, as opposed to the Hall of Fame. I am not going to be. I'm not going to be watching. I'm not going to be watching the Hall of Fame, especially if Honky gets inducted. I'm not going to listen to a guy that had no business being in wrestling, giving an induction speech and acting like he was something, bigger than he actually was. This guy was a mid-card comedy jobber. And the best thing that ever happened to him, the best thing I ever saw happen to him was when Ultimate Warrior squashed him at SummerSlam 88 in like 30 seconds. And I don't even like Warrior. I fucking hate Warrior. But it was great to see Honky get shown up in the fact that Honky was such a goddamn joke. And now, finishing up with my voice almost completely gone. People who... Okay, Roman Reigns apparently he's going to make an appearance on Raw. For the first time since he made his shocking announcement that his leukemia had returned. And apparently he had beaten the disease once, but it's what knocked him out of football. Okay. People are questioning why Roman Reigns is coming back, why they would make a shocking announcement. Firstly, the reason they were making a shocking announcement, or they made the announcement ahead of time, probably ratings. Vince is a ratings-driven guy. He is a guy that is all about the money and all about getting that big boom in business. But also, there are people, and this happened when it first got announced, and it's still happening now. People who think that Roman Reigns' leukemia is a work, that Vince will do anything to get him over, that people saying that Reigns is being brought back only for ratings. Okay, the ratings I will give on that. Yes, Vince is probably... I'm not saying that Vince strong-armed Roman to want to return, but once Reigns maybe said, hey, I want to give an update to the fans. I want to clarify, by the way, before people call me a hypocrite, I was never that big of a fan of Roman Reigns the wrestler. But this is not about Roman Reigns the wrestler. It's about Roman Reigns the man. The man, Joe Anoa'i, who has kids. I believe 3 kids with his wife. Forgive me if they have more, they have less. But it's a family man that has been working hard, trying to get healthy again. Apparently filmed a movie with The Rock. Apparently filmed 2 movies. I don't know if he filmed the second one with The Rock, but whatever. It's none of my business. It's his life. But I always emphasize that, I said, don't want to sound like a hypocrite. So my opinion of the wrestler aside, when I heard him make that announcement, I remember I was sitting there with my best friend, Chris, aka the Durbinator. We're sitting there, we hear that, and we're like, and it's like just everything, it was like air got let out of the freaking arena and out of the room. It was just shocking. And to know that, the man himself had been battling this and he didn't want this return in leukemia. Leukemia is no goddamn joke. So I want to tell people, those that think it's a work, that this is a work. Vince will do a lot to get people over. He will fake injuries. If they said Roman Reigns had like a really, really bad injury and had to step away, okay, you could say that's a work. Because injuries get blown up, faked, and stuff all the time. Here's why the leukemia can't be a work. And here's why it can't be a work. Because they're doing all this stuff. Now, yes, you could argue about WWE's charity work and this kind of stuff and all this bullshit. But WWE has so many charities and the anti-bullying stuff and stuff like that. And stuff they're doing with kids and Special Olympics and all that stuff. But one important charity is Connor's Cure. That, they partner with. Connor's Cure. For a boy that died of brain cancer, leukemia is a form of cancer. I know that might blow your minds, you fucking idiots. Then this is only to the people that think it's a work, or that think that Reigns would fake it, or that Vince would have Reigns fake it, because I guarantee you that Reigns may not have a ton of pull, but he would have enough pull to say, no, Vince, we're not doing that. I'm not faking that I have a disease. Because that Connor's Cure thing, that's a pretty big deal. That's something for a boy, again, that died of brain cancer, to help children that have cancers and have diseases and this kind of stuff. But no, WWE, Vince would throw that all away, throw the company's reputation away and all that stuff and bankrupt the company because it would morally and financially bankrupt the company to have Roman Reigns, leukemia be a work. That's what it would do. It would take all the credibility. The publicly traded company that it is would cease to exist. It would. Sponsors would be pissed. Sponsors would pull out. So many people, there's so many negatives against it. The Vince would be insane to try and make it work. Now people say, oh, well, this is the guy who tried to blew himself up in the limo for ratings. And you know what happened the next week? He came back out because of a real goddamn tragedy when Chris Benoit killed his family. People seem to neglect remembering that. And yes, they became a publicly traded company in 99, 2000. It was somewhere around that. And okay, they made a ton of questionable decisions and this kind of stuff. And Stephanie, philanthropy is a new form of marketing. It's the way brands are going to win, or words to that effect. Yes. WWE makes a whole lot of questionable shit and a lot of shit that I pick on, everything creatively, and some of the stuff they say and some of the stuff that's posted. So I totally give people that. There is no goddamn way it is a fucking work. And you know why? Because of all the reasons I said right there. Vince is an idiot, but he's not an idiot. I mean, I know that sounds a little weird to say, but there's no way that can be a work. It would be the biggest slap in the face. Fans would tune away. I would tune away. If I found out it was a work, I would say, that's it. I can't watch. I can't. I would pretty much, cripple my channel, but I would say, that's it. I'm getting rid of the network and get rid of all that. I'm not going to financially support them again. They would have such a backlash and all this that there's no goddamn way that the company would ever recover. Yes, they had a steroid trial, a whole bunch of stuff and everything years and years and years ago. The Katie Vick angle, this kind of stuff, whatever, and the Benoit tragedy, and having to get the wellness policy going and all that. And no, WWE is not a perfect goddamn company. I pick on them, and I'll continue to pick on them. Not the talents, most of them, but, the company as a whole. And yeah, I'm losing my goddamn voice. But I'm so goddamn pissed at people that want to say this. And it's not just one person, it's a ton of people. Now, yeah, it's kind of a vocal minority, but it's enough people to where I'm like, guys, if you really think that it's a work, then please do me a favor. One, seek help. Seek fucking help. Because you obviously got some kind of twisted fantasy going where you just can't give credit to a man that is fighting for his freaking life. And maybe, look, who knows what the announcement's going to be? I'm recording this Saturday night, so I don't know what the announcement's going to be yet. He could announce, it could just be a hype thing. Hey, my cancer's in remission. I will beat it and I will be back. Great. Or he could say, I'm still fighting it, stuff like that. And the doctors say things look good. Whatever it is. Because if it ended up being a work, guys, there would be no WWE. They have too many things that they have to worry about from a PR perspective where they wouldn't be able to recover from this. Fans would not give them a chance. The ratings would go right into the toilet. Talents would be out of work. The company would be closed down. Yes, Vince has survived a ton of shit. The Jimmy Snuka thing where he covered up that murder. Because he did. Whether he wants to admit it or not. The steroid scandal. Which I don't believe Vince provides steroids to anybody. And all that stuff. And the attitude era and all this shit and everything. And the creative decisions and the limo blowing up and all the stuff I covered. Yes. That was when they were a publicly traded company. The limo blowing up. Had the Benoit tragedy not happened, who the fuck knows what would have happened as far as Vince being blown up. The point is it's stupid to think it's a fucking work. And if you fucking think it's a work and you're watching this, please seek help. Or fucking talk to me. My Twitter handle's in the description. I will talk to you in DM and you can tell me why, but I'm just saying right now, you ain't going to convince me. Because there's too many things against it, and that's all I have to say. So, that's the end of that. Agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. This has been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. Rapid Fire episode 82. I will see you soon.